Great to get a conference win and to get our 7th win versus a very good Tulane team. I got a lot of respect for Coach Hunter and their program. I mean, they're just explosive offensive team that make it very difficult with the way they play defense. So proud of our guys and our coaching staff to, in a short turnaround after the Wichita State game, to stay focused and be ready to go today and play well this afternoon.
Coach, 3rd straight win, 7th conference win. I know you guys have higher aspirations, but just what does it mean to kind of get over this hump, so to speak?
Yeah, probably it is that 3rd straight win, because we've had that opportunity 2 other times in conference play and we weren't able to capitalize. So to be able to do that today, and honestly, I think we've played 3 of our best, most complete games, our last 3 games, on both sides of the ball, really. Defensively today versus a team, again, I'll say it, I think they're as good of an offensive team as there is in this league. And then offensively over the last 3 games to be at 21 assists, 18 assists, and then 25 assists today, I think that is showing that the team really being connected on offense. So as much as anything, the assist numbers show me and our staff that we feel like we're playing the right way on offense right now.
Coach, I looked and you were 50% today from three-point land. I know you got to be happy about that.
Yeah, and I think it goes hand in hand with the assist, because the more you share the ball, the more you're thinking, you can take a lot of quick shots versus a defense like this, versus a zone defense that matches up. I mean, you can go get some early shots, and not that they would not necessarily, we took some today, and they're not necessarily poor shots, but there's good shots, there's great shots, there's knowing the clock, there's understanding time and score. And I think over the last 3 games, our guys are really starting to understand that, and understand I have a good shot, but a quick swing, moving the basketball, a skip pass, getting the ball out of the paint, cutting without the basketball. We got 3 times at least today cutting without the basketball. We scored late in the shot clock, which was something we had worked on. So I just think it's an understanding, but yes, 50%, we'll take that, and I hope we can bottle that up.
Coach, normally the crowd gets into dunks and threes, but the crowd really get into it off defensive rotations and stops, and just when Tulane would swing the ball, you guys would be there, and just how great is that to get the crowd
I felt
into
that, and I don't always feel what's going on. I felt it on a couple possessions, particularly in that first half, where we forced a 30-second clock violation, and we forced a couple plays like that where we were scrambling and rotating and getting there. And yeah, I did feel that, and we work on that every day. Again, I give our staff so much credit in terms of what all the coaches do to get the guys ready in a short time, but just that next play mentality, getting to the next guy, particularly versus a team like this that has 5 guys out on the court that really can go get it any way they want. So that was great to feel in the building.
And Coach, it was tied at 41, and then you guys go on a 16-1 run. What'd you say to the guys there to just get them fired up, or that's just good shooting?
No, we just look, they came out, they had the ball at halftime, and they ran an action, and they got to the foul line right away at a halftime, and we came down, and Tulane is there going to make shots. They're going to make a run. They're going to make it tough for us on the other end with their zone defense. And so we just stayed the course. We didn't change anything. We didn't do anything different. We talked about, hey, this is how they're guarding things. We got to look for this now. Or they've made this adjustment. We got to do that. Defensively, I thought a couple times we got a little lackadaisical and the court got wide open and they got downhill early in the second half. So we talked about those things, but it was really more so, what do we got to do in terms of the game plan we put forth? Let's get back to doing that well. It wasn't changing anything at that time.
Coach, you had over 4,700 people here today, one of the biggest crowds this season. How big advantage is that for the Pirates, for the basketball team?
I think the more people we get in the building, the better advantage it is. I think the louder it gets in there, the more the atmosphere is, what college basketball is about, especially we're in the mix right now. We're in the hunt in this league midway through February, getting into late February. We're right there. I know, we'll see where it stands after the weekend, but, I believe we have 3 home games left maybe. I think that's what it is. It would be fantastic to have this place like this and some for those games, because you know what? It's fun. It helps our guys a ton. It helps the team, and it's a real factor. We've talked about Minji's Coliseum. It's a real factor in games, and so when it's like that, absolutely, we love it.
Coach, how big is it to have two guys that can spread the ball around like Jaden and Bobby? Jaden with 8 assists, Bobby with 7, and how do you find that balance of putting them on the floor together and letting them be at the one?
Yeah, that's a great point, and I just talked about that on the radio, and that is, again, the assist numbers were as big a deal to us today as anything. And anytime, just look at Jaden, he really got his lip pretty good in there when he got knocked there and he got stitches, and Bobby steps right in and does things. But when they're both going and you got to have them both on the court at the same time, I love playing 2 point guards. We love that. We love having 2 point guards on the court at the same time. And I just thought both of those guys managed. Again, we had to really turn the page quickly from Wichita State because of the type of defense that Tulane plays. And so your point guards are going to be the tip of the spear. They're going to be the ones that have to initiate. They're going to be the ones to get guys in position and execute what we're looking for. They're the ones making the majority of the reads in terms of the coverages. And I thought both those guys did an excellent job, and 15 assists between them is about as good as we could ask for.
Coach, RJ Felton scored his 1,000th point early in this game. I know you had to coach a whole game. Didn't really have time to dwell on it. Just talk about what this meant to see that and the testament to who he is as an athlete.
Yeah, and it's a great point because it's not only who he is as a basketball player, it's RJ's loyalty, his commitment to ECU. I've said this so many times. He bleeds purple, him and Brandon Johnson, to stay here through everything that's happened and to be here. And so proud of RJ and that accolade that he accomplished. But as much as anything, for RJ and Brandon to be a part of the most wins in the regular season with still a lot of basketball left to be played, that is something that I think those guys have earned, and I'm really proud of it for them. And the first 3-game winning streak in conference play and some of the road success that we've been able to have to this point, that's where I think the coaches, the team is really happy and proud of RJ and Brandon too, him being here with them.
Coach, looking at the stat sheet, you had 4 guys in double figures. That's a huge day.
Yeah, that kind of balance is really good, and we've talked about it sitting here many times that, you know, a couple of games where RJ and Brandon were struggling because the defense was keying in on them, and you know, I was asked many times, you know, what's going on? Is there anything you can do to get it? The point is that those guys they're going to do what they do, but when other guys are stepping up, and I said this, when other guys are stepping up, Bob, the way he played today, Cam Hayes, the way he played today, Jaden Walker, the way he played today. When other guys are even Val goes in, makes free throws, and finishes at the basket. All of a sudden, it's harder for defenses to just keep that target right on RJ and Brandon's back. And they're always going to have it on them. But the more guys step up, the court opens up, and I tell you, those 2 guys, they don't need much time to do the damage that they need to do. But that comes when everybody is doing their job, and I thought tonight was a great example of that.
Anything else? Thanks, good.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Coach.